誰かのためのギャンブルからあなたを解放してください。
Sorry. I apologize. I always forget.
О, ты тут, здорово.
Shinobu is a pretty young woman with large compound eyes of dark purple color, similar to that of insects. She has black wavy hair that fades to dark purple, styled at the back of her head into a flat yakai maki bun. If you observe Shinobu, you'll find an easygoing smile on her face, regardless of the situation she's in. She's quite powerful and skilled in combat when it comes to her fighting techniques. She uses creativity, ingenuity, and other natural abilities to decapitate demons. Instead of traditional methods of decapitating a demon with a Nichiren sword, Shinobu opts to use a modified version of a katana that acts as a stinger to inject lethal wisteria poison that's poisonous to demons. Shinobu carries her heavily modified Nichiren katana forged by Teijin Kawahara as her primary weapon. She was born as the youngest daughter within the Kocho household, living alongside her mother, father, and older sister Kanae Kocho. She was raised in a loving and caring household until her parents were slaughtered by demons right before her and her sister's eyes. Just when the demon was about to take the lives of her and her sister as well, they were saved by the Hashira Gyome Himejima, who slayed the demon. Now more determined as a result of the pain and suffering they endured, Shinobu and Kanae both promised to become demon slayers to protect each other, as well as preventing other people from enduring the same losses they had to experience. Shinobu enters a room and discovers Doma eating a group of his own female disciples. When he finally notices her, Doma reacts with delight at having another meal walk right into his room, and thanks Nakime. One of his disciples, still alive, begs Shinobu to save her, and Domu, irritated by this, attempts to finish her off, only for Shinobu to jump in and save her. She asks the young woman if she's alright, but before she can answer, the young woman explodes and dies right in front of her eyes. Shinobu is angered by this and by Doma's insistence that he saved the girl by killing her. She then notices a pair of sharp fans that Doma uses as his main weapon, and angrily inquires if he remembers the Haori that had originally belonged to her elder sister. Doma finally remembers her by the butterfly wing design Haori that Kanae once wore, and playfully expresses his disappointment at not being able to eat Kanae due to the sun rising, which further angers Shinobu. The insect Hashira swiftly launches an attack at him using her insect-breathing Dance of the Bee Sting, True Flutter, to inflict a powerful stab directly in Doma's right eyeball, which impresses him since he couldn't block it. Although he's initially dismissive of her since he correctly guessed that she lacked the physical strength to cut off a demon's head, he becomes excited upon learning that Shinobu's true strength lies in poisoning her opponents. Shinobu hopes that the poison would be effective enough to kill him, but then learns, much to her disappointment, that Doma had already received information regarding her poison from her battle against the spider family of lower rank 5. Doma manages to break down and render her poison non-lethal, healing himself from her attack. She's further backed into a corner due to Doma now rapidly developing antibodies and adjusting his body against her poison, so that, after a mere 5 slashes and injections of poison, he's now entirely resistant to it. Also, due to his blood demon art of frozen mist, it's becoming increasingly difficult for Shinobu to breathe. Now hedging her bets on injecting a large dose to kill him by using a 6 stab attack, Shinobu strikes him using insect breathing Dance of the Dragonfly, Compound Eye Hexagon, and successfully hits him. However, as she attacks him, he simultaneously attacks her, cutting both her collarbone and ribs and puncturing one of her lungs. Finally near her wit's end, and almost losing any hope of victory, Shinobu attempts to draw strength from replaying her older sister's words of encouragement in her head. She then prepares to strike at Doma again, despite her serious injuries and the immense pain she's in. She attacks using insect-breathing Dance of the Centipede, 100-legged zigzag to confuse him. She strikes Doma directly through his neck, impaling him and sending him flying towards the ceiling. Exhausted and wounded, Shinobu thinks she's triumphant upon seeing Doma being poisoned and seemingly dying from her attack. However, Doma recovers almost instantly from her attack, to which Shinobu is further enraged. Now exhausted, fatally injured, and dangerously near death, Shinobu is caught by Doma as he falls down from the ceiling. He embraces her in a bear hug and begins to mock her and call her entire attempt to defeat him a waste of effort, assuring her that she'd live peacefully as a part of him and mockingly asking her for her last words. She spitefully curses him as he begins to kill her. In the end, she's absorbed by the upper rank, just as her disciple Kanao Tsuyuri arrives at the scene. Her death causes Kanao to go berserk in order to try and save her, only to be repelled by an irritated Doma, who tells her not to interfere when he's in the middle of absorbing someone. He successfully devours Shinobu's body until her butterfly-shaped hairpiece is the only thing left of her. However, it turns out that she predicted her death at Doma's hand. Thus, with the help of Tamayo, she had taken and absorbed wisteria flower poison regularly for over a year in the hopes that, if Doma consumed her, he'd also devour 37 kilograms worth of wisteria poison, which is nearly 700 times the lethal dose of killing a normal demon. She hoped this would be enough to kill the upper rank, or at least weaken him enough to be slain by her allies later. Ultimately, Shinobu's plan works, as Kanao, along with Inosuke Hashibira, manages to sever Doma's disfigured head from his body, fulfilling her revenge at last. Inside the limbo of death, Shinobu and Doma's head are conversing with each other. Doma finally shows emotion by saying that he's fallen in love with Shinobu and proposes that they go to hell together. She cruelly declines with a smile. Shinobu is last seen with her sister, Kanai, in giving their blessing to Kanao before happily reuniting with their parents in the afterlife. Later, 2 girls seen as the reincarnations of Shinobu and Kanai are seen attending an all-girls school in future Japan.